Hey YouTube, it's Rico the Fox Kid here. So I know this is a good 6 days late or 5 or whatever, but major props to Alex Reed for getting second place at YCS Dallas with Dragon Lightsworn, and his friend Matt Arra got top 32 with this pretty much the same deck, and one of their other friends was one duel off of the uh, top 32 also. So Lightsworn really represented a lot this weekend, or last weekend. Uh, yeah, I still count it as Lightsworn. It was mixed with Dragon, but you do what you got to do to win the game and get back in the meta. And I think this is a great way for Lightsworn to get back into it, because they've been out of the competitive scene since pre. Uh, it was a while ago. Right around when Six Samurai started getting big was the last time we saw Lightsworn in the top tiers. So it does. I've tested it. Similar build to theirs. It does still have the Lightsworn field in my opinion, even though it's a little unorthodox. It focuses a bit more on Lightsworn engine as opposed to just running a bunch of names for JD. But I think it does qualify as a Lightsworn deck, and I actually like it. It's fairly consistent. And it's pretty consistent. I haven't had too many bad hands with them, and most of it's manageable. And so I guess I'll go into the way I built it because I think I may actually take Lightsworn Dragon to YCS Philadelphia, which I'm planning on going to. And honestly, unless a better variant pops up sometime in the near future, I'm gonna probably take Lightsworn Dragon because I'm liking it. Um, so this is the way I have it. There are, I think, 5 proxies in here right now. I just haven't gotten everything I need for the deck, and I've been kind of busy lately. I won't be able to meet up with my team for a few weeks, just stuff I have planned. Uh, but 5 proxies, I should be able to get all of them by the time I have to go to Philadelphia. So first off, only one JD. Just for the sake of consistency and the sheer fact that you're not running as many Lightsworns, you're only running 8 and 5 names, I think. It might be 6. To be honest, cutting the JDs down to 1 at first was a pretty tough thing for me to do because I haven't run one JD since I only owned one. But honestly, I do think only one JD is good because it just gives consistency to the deck because you're not relying on JD nearly as much as we have in the past. And also, the 2 Eclipse Wyverns that are in the deck kind of act as 2 more extra copies of JD that are okay to be milled. Because in most cases, when I mill or get rid of Eclipse Wyvern and get them in the graveyard, I'm either grabbing JD or Dad. Because Dad's really consistent in this deck too. Because you've just got enough darks and there's so many ways to manage the graveyard that Dad is just ridiculously easy to go into. Those are the 2 I usually grab with Wyvern. If I drew or milled any of them, I'll just grab a Darkness Metal. So BLS, Chaos Monster, Gore's Defense. 2 Darkness Metal Dragon. I agree with what Reed and Arra both said on why they only run 2 Darkness Metal and not 3. It's just that 3 can clog hands really bad. And I've had clogged hands with just the 2. And honestly, it's not that hard to get one in the graveyard. And you just need one in the graveyard and a Light Pulsar on the field, and you're set. So 2 Darkness Metal Dragon works really well. These 2 are proxied right now. It will not be very hard at all to pick up some Darkness Metal Dragons because they're in the structure deck now. Chaos Sorcerer just for extra Chaos support. 2 Dark Flare Dragons. Reed posted on Ultra Reality Games that he said that if he were to make a change to the deck, he would add a second Dark Flare. And Arra actually also said that they were considering Dark Flare, 2 Dark Flare as opposed to 1, and were even still considering it after the tournament or during the top 32 or something like that. But Dark Flare is nice to set up the combo because if you have like Light Pulsar or Darkness Metal in your hand, you can summon Dark Flare, pitch the Light Pulsar and then get Darkness Metal from your grave, and if you have a Dark and a Light in your hand, you're set for the combo. And also Dark Flare helps deal with Inzectors. Just Dark Flare, get rid of their Hornet, all that fun stuff. And it's a Dark, so... I was running one Dark Flare, but I'll get into later as to why I decided to put in the second one. 3 Light Pulsar. One of those proxy right now, just need to get another one, obviously. Light Pulsar is the second half of the heart of the deck. The first half is Darkness Metal Dragon, obviously, because the combo, you get Light Pulsar on the field. Whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you bring back Darkness Metal, use Darkness Metal, bring back Light Pulsar, rinse and repeat. And it is very, very efficient. It is pretty difficult to get over, especially with just if you destroy Light Pulsar, you just get it back later. It takes a lot of resources to get rid of this that combo once it goes off. So Light Pulsar is the MVP of the deck. Very, very important. 2 Wyverns, already explained why they're good. Just grab Darkness Metals or Dat or JD, and then just put them in your hand when you need them. 2 Veilers, obvious. Stop stuff. 1 Aaron. Aaron's good for Zen mains and the name. 1 Honest. 1 Jane, Beat Stick, name. Only 1 Lumina, because in most cases, Lumina gets Veilered. So you summon Lumina, you pitch for its effect, and your opponent Veilers, and you have a sitting duck on the field. And I would think it's especially more noticeable in this deck, since very few of the boss monsters can actually be Veilers, because the heart is Light Pulsar. Like, the heart of the deck is Light Pulsar, and there's no point in all at Veilering that. So that makes Veiler just so much more prominent on Lumina. And I did consider running 2 Luminas just an easier way to get Light Pulsars in the graveyard, or getting Darkness Metals in the graveyard and all that stuff. For now, I'm sticking with 1 Lumina. So yeah. 2 Lila. I only own 2 and don't feel like proxying 1 right now, because I don't think having a 3rd one is really that dire. If I get a 3rd one, I'm running 3 Raikou over here right now. If I get a 3rd one, I'll probably switch out one of the Raikous and put in a Lila. 1 Fan of the Chaos. This card is awesome, especially if you mill JD or mill Dad. You can late game nuke the field or use Dad and wipe out your opponent's field because you got all these dark monsters in your graveyard. Plague Spreader. Plague is... I take back what I said a few weeks ago to a month ago, where I said Plague is not that useful anymore. I take that back. Plague is very, very helpful still. Just, you can get out Stardust, Scrap, any level 8 Synchro. You got level 5s in the deck, so you can go Black Rose. If you have to, you can do Armory Arm. You can do a lot with Plague, and I admit when I'm wrong. Plague is still a useful card. I don't think I would run it in pure Lightsworn, just to get on that subject. I still think Plague's not as useful there, but in Twilight and Lightsworn Dragon, I definitely think Plague is worth it. And then 3 Raikou, I already explained why I'm running 3. If I get a 3rd Lila, I'll take one of these Raikous out. 1 Sangan, Searcher. 2 Tour Guides, only 2 because my team has 3. One of them is for the team to share. 2 of them belong exclusively to one member because he got them with his own money. He said that he may be able to lend me the 2 tour guides he's using for Philadelphia as long as I give them back, which I would, obviously. So I should be able to get 2 tour guides. The 3rd one is going to be used by my team leader because he just needs 1 for his Dark World deck. So 2 tour guides. Not having 3 is not a big deal. Tour guide's just kind of there as a dark, just extra help. In the event that I can't get the tour guides, just for whatever reason someone else has to use them or anything, I would probably either do what Reed and Arra did and use Mystic Tomato instead, or I might just run 2 Trigoedia. I'm not sure. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Right, that's the monster lineup. It's 30 monsters, which is actually not bad at all, because Light Pulsar, if it's in the graveyard, any monster you have is live, because you can use any monster in this deck for fuel to revive Light Pulsar because they're all light and dark. So as long as Light Pulsar's in your graveyard and you've got one of each attribute in your deck in your hand, which shouldn't be hard because I think there's 12 or so dark monsters in here. Any monster you have will always be live. We got 9 spells and 1 trap. Allure, Draw Power, Charge, Engine, Dark Hole, obvious. Future Fusion, you draw this, you more or less win. Just because Future Fusion is just that broken. And really, I think the only reason Future Fusion hasn't been banned yet is because dragons have never really wrecked. And if they get to that point, I can definitely see Future Fusion going. Because Future Fusion is just amazing. You play it, you ditch both the Wyverns, so take out Dad and JD and just get them when you need them. Dump Darkness Metal, Light Pulsar, and then just a 5th one. Arra and Reed liked to dump a Dark Flare. I personally think I would dump a 2nd Darkness Metal Dragon just because I don't particularly like drawing him. I like getting him in the graveyard so I can revive him with Light Pulsar. So that's what I do. I do 2 Darkness Metal, Light Pulsar, and 2 Equipped Wyverns, and I'm just set for the whole game. Future Fusion wins games and is very ban-worthy in its own right, but it's broken and it's legal, so use it, especially if you're running dragons. Heavy Storm, obvious. Monster Reborn, obvious. And 3 Solar Recharge. Even though there's only 8 Lightsworn monsters in the deck, 3 Solar Recharge is still really good, because I've never really had a problem with Solar Recharge. And then Treacherous Trap Hole. This is the one trap. Treacherous Trap Hole is really good, because especially against rabbits, like they summon Rabbit, they go into their 2 dinosaurs, you Treacherous Trap Hole, they're both gone. You summon, or they summon Tour Guide, they go into the other Tour Guide, they go into Sangan, you Treacherous Trap Hole, they're both gone. Just stuff like that. Or even they summon one monster that you want to get rid of, like, and then you use Treacherous Trap Hole, destroy their monster, destroy your Light Pulsar, bring back Darkness Metal Dragon. So Treacherous Trap Hole has a lot of uses in this deck. That's the whole deck, the main deck, 40 cards. I don't know how many they were running. I think they might have been doing 41, but I just slimmed it down to 40 somehow. I think they were running 1 card trooper, and that might have been it. My build's not too different from theirs, really. The thing that stands out is 2 Tour Guides and Dark Flare. Oh, yes, I said I was going to mention why I ran 2 Dark Flare instead of 1. My original idea had 3 Tour Guides, and then when I found out that I'd only be able to borrow 2 max, I said, okay, I just need another Dark, and I don't feel like running just 1 Trag, so I just put in another Dark Flare. Alright, so extra deck, 5-headed, obvious, you need it for Future Fusion. Him breaks things and all that stuff. 7 Exceeds and 7 Synchros, just kind of ironic or coincidence. Exobeetle, just because there are a lot of level 6s in the deck, so you could summon Exobeetle with Light Pulsar and Light Pulsar or Light Pulsar Chaos Sorcerer. And personal combo I would love to use is attach Light Pulsar to it or attach Sangan to it, use his effect, detach, send whatever it's equipped with to the graveyard, and whatever monster your opponent's using. I'm pretty sure you can do that. I haven't used this much, so I'd have to double check. Yeah, 1 face-up card on each side of the field. It doesn't have to be a monster. So send like the Light Pulsar to the Sangan. Your opponent's card goes away, your equipped card goes away, and then with Light Pulsar you either revive a dragon that is in your graveyard, or with Sangan you search, because it doesn't say it has to be a monster on the field to get its effect activated. It just has to be on the field and to go to the graveyard. So things happen with that. 1 Utopia, I don't rank 4 a lot in this deck, but he's there just in case. I took out Utopia Ray, just no room, and without mind control, he's not super needed, I guess. 1 Leviair, good for getting back stuff, primarily Plague Spreader. 1 Leviathan Dragon, 1 Giga Brilliant. I love this guy, especially after I drop like everything on the field, and then just go like Tour Guide into Tour Guide, Giga Brilliant, every single monster gains 300 attack. I love Giga Brilliant so much. Acid Golem, Last Resort, or Push for Game, all that kind of stuff. Zen Mains for, just defense. Zen Main's pretty freaking awesome. Synchros, I have one of each level except for 8, which I have 2 of right now. I have Mistworm, Scrap Dragon, and Stardust just because they're both really useful. Probably run Void Ogre if I had one, just because your hand does deplete fast enough where there are many cases where you have no hand and you can go into Void Ogre. And then you've got your own little Xian going on right there, which makes this deck even more broken. Black Rose, Brio, Android, Armory Arm. That's the extra deck. Side deck, based it off of Reeves, but I did add my own little personal twists to it. 2 Tragoedia. He sided 1. I side 2 just because I don't main 1. So 2 Tragoedia is nice for, I guess, 6 Sams, anything that swarms. 2 Arcus just to ease up the Inzektor matchup because Arcus stops targeting. So against Inzektors, I'd probably side out Lila, or not Lila, Raikou, maybe Lumina. Another thing about it, I'm not maining the third Raikou, so I might put another Raikou, or not maining the third Arcus, so I might put another Arcus in my side deck. I don't know yet. For now, 2 Arcus, possibly 3 later. 2 DD Crows, kills Inzektors, kind of deals with windups. 1 Electric Virus. This was personally one of my favorite things that Reed and Arra did. They sided triple Electric Virus just because it wrecks Dino Rabbits. You take their Logia, go into Darkest Metal, or you force them to use Dolka and all that crap. I was surprised. I could have sworn I had 3 Electric Virus, but I went through every single one of my cards and could only find 1. So I'm using 2 Smashing Grounds as fillers because those also kind of help against Dino Rabbits. It'll get rid of their Dolkas, force them to negate with Logia and all that stuff. So 2 Smashing Grounds and Electric Virus until I get 2 more Electric Viruses. I would side 3 Electric Virus if I had the choice, or if I had 2 more. 1 Veiler, just because I'm only maining 2. 3 MSTs, don't main them, might as well side them. On the subject of back row hate, I honestly don't think this deck needs it. The back row hate that, like, the deck, because the heart of the deck is the Light Pulsar Darkest Metal combo, and that combo is not afraid of Torrential Tribute or Mirror Force. It has to work to get around Warning and Judgment, but it's definitely manageable to get around them. It's that they warning your Light Pulsar, you just revive it with the cards in your hand. Fiendish Chain, I guess, would be a little bit harder to deal with. But again, it's manageable. The only traps that really screw up the deck are Bottomless and Dimensional Prison. So those are really the only ones you need to look out for. And so 3 Lila or 2 Lila or whatever, it really takes care of it well. I honestly don't think the deck needs all of the back row hate that other Lightsworn banners need, and I think that's actually an advantage of it. So all these Lightsworn decks, they have all these big plays that they can make, but they need to work with back row hate, or otherwise your plays aren't going to get through. Lightsworn Dragon doesn't have that problem. They get rid of your Light Pulse, so you just bring it back next turn. It's awesome. And then the last 2, Royal Decree and Chapstone, still haven't gotten a second Decree yet. Working on that. And same idea, your opponent realizes that you're not running a lot of back row, they side out their MSTs, you put in Royal Decree and laugh. So yeah, I think I want to put in the third Arcus. I would take out, against Inzektors, take out the Raikous, put in the Arcus. Just because Raikou's not going to do crap against Inzektors with all their Hornet stuff, but Arcus will stop them dead in their tracks even more. So yep, that's pretty much the deck. Again, major props to Reed and Arra for doing so well at YCS Dallas and inspiring me to take this to YCS Philadelphia unless Lightsworn gets something really amazing Galactic Overlord. Right now, it's really just relying on what Light Ray Grepher does, and we should be finding that out in a few days to maybe a week or 2, because the sneak preview, I think, is next week. So we're going to have to find out within the week as to what Light Ray Grepher does. I'm honestly not expecting it to be anything super amazing, because like all these theories of things that Grepher could do, if it's a Dark Grepher clone, so yeah, you get Wolf, and then what? You go into Utopia. That's not broken. You ditch another random Lightsworn. You just wasted a normal summon. So if Dark Grepher is a light, or if Light Ray Grepher is a Dark Grepher clone for lights, it's not going to be that impressive, at least not until we get Lavalval Chain, at which point it becomes stupid broken. Because you summon Grepher, pitch a Wolf, uh, sees into chain, detach Wolf, send another Wolf, or send another Lightsworn, or put a JD on top of your deck, or a BLS on top of your deck. That's when it will get. That's when it becomes a problem. But we don't have Lavalval Chain for a good maybe year or so. So I'm not expecting Light Ray Grepher to be much unless they decide to make him ridiculously stupid broken. At which point I may switch to something else. But for now, I'm sticking with Dragon Lightsworn. It seems to be pretty promising. Um, I swear there was something else I was gonna say. Um, I can't think of it. Uh, Lightsworns, dragons. I think they have the potential to be noticeable in the meta again. Uh, I guess Heretics. I guess I'll talk about them since they're going to be coming up soon. If, unless I haven't done too much research on them, but unless I'm mistaken, they kind of need Gustav Max to be really like the ridiculousness that they are in the OCG. And unless Konami wants to be really, really, really obnoxious and put Gustav Max in Galactic Overlord, the Heretics aren't going to be broken. They'll be good and they'll be a meta deck, but they're not going to be broken. Right now, I'm still looking out for Dino Rabbits. They're a problem. Uh, and I guess windups, but windups wind up. Uh, I'm hitting the 22-minute mark, so I guess I'm done now. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Deuces.